The Ring. Let me tell you about The Ring. The Ring was a very, very supernatural story. I lost everything in the mortgage meltdown. And, it was one house after another, the foreclosure, the bills, and so we just resorted to classified ads, and we sold absolutely everything. We sold our air conditioners, we sold anything that moved, really, computers, beds, whatever. So I remember one time, just looking for something to sell, some way to make some quick money, and I really, really couldn't find anything. So I remember gazing down at my wedding ring and saying, Lord, I've been married almost 25 years. I don't think you want me to sell my wedding ring. But if you want me to sell my wedding ring, I'm certainly willing. A couple of days later, I was in church and I was singing, and I remember my hands were raised, and I looked at my hand and I noticed the diamond was out of my ring. Actually, I started to laugh. I said, oh my goodness, oh my gosh, I can't believe he wants absolutely everything. And I went home, didn't pay much attention to it. Fortunately, I have the ring here saved for my memories, and I forgot about it. A few weeks later, I went to church, and I have a zipper Bible. And I opened the Bible, and inside the pages of a Bible were a very simple, very, very simple gold ring. It had a couple of little diamonds in it. It was gold. And the truth of the matter is I'd seen this ring floating around my house before, but no way could imagine how it ended up in my zipper Bible. So I started playing with it. Just rubbing it and not, listening to the church service. And all of a sudden, I felt this incredible urge or idea, and I said, well, I can put it on my finger. Until I can get a new wedding ring, I'll just put it on my finger. And as I slipped the ring on my finger in September of 2010, I felt the Lord speak to me in one of the most audible voices I'd ever heard. And he said, I'm going to start the restoration, but you're going to keep me first. And really, it didn't impact me. I didn't really even remember hearing the voice till the next day. And I just put it on, and the next morning, being desperate for money, I went to one of those cash for gold places, and I walked up to the counter, and I handed her my ring, and she's weighing it and measuring it, and she tells me $60. And as we're making the transaction, I start telling her about what happened. I said, yeah, I was in church, and I found this ring, and she said, oh, no, I'm not taking that ring. And I was like, why? I need the $60. Give me the money. She said, no, we call that a pact with God, and I'm not touching that ring. And she pulled her hands back, and she stepped back, and, well, I've held on to this ring, and the ring is still currently on my finger, and I've never forgotten those words. From now on, you're going to keep me first. And I'm a firm believer in tithing. I'm a firm believer in offerings, although I don't make as many offerings as I want, and I'm not making excuses. I believe in them. But at this point in my personal journey, I need to have the full family on board with what I do. And right now, to me, tithing is the most important thing. And, people have even argued with me before, well, you could have paid off that debt, or you could have paid off those taxes, but the truth of the matter is, when you go to church and you hand your money, his money, back to him, it is a giving back. It's not a giving. You're not making a donation. You're not building the church. You're giving back what God's given you. And if someone argues with you and says, oh, but think of all the money you have if you didn't give to the church, what I believe is I really believe that by giving the money, it opens the heavens, as the Bible says. And I can give you two examples. One of them is, recently we were going on a trip, and I ran the money to the church just before going to the trip. And when I got to the resort, just so happens the supervisor was standing there, and I asked him for any special deals, and that offering that I had given the church literally within minutes had turned into $500 being in the right place at the right time. You know, many of you might call that coincidence. I prefer to call it God's favor. And since the day I put that ring on my finger, I have always put God first. The purpose of this book is to glorify His name, to honor Him, and to really truly convey that I am who I am, that I have what I have, all because of Him. God spoke to me and He said, I'm not giving you the favor because of what you do. I'm giving you favor because of who you are. Meaning, it doesn't really matter the titles by your name, who's your father, what you've done in your past. When you follow the rules of what God's provided, which is keeping Him first, tithing, offering, you will see the gates of heaven flood over your life.